What's going on, guys? It's Asthmatic here, and today I want to talk about weather and the day-night cycle in the Division. So I've got a news article that was just posted on the official Division website from Ubisoft, and it's called "Exploring the World," and they're just talking about, like I just said, the dynamic weather as well as the day-night cycle. And I've got a couple quotes we're going to go through and just kind of give an overview of what they're talking about in this article. So obviously, the Division being an open world game is this whole world where we've got day and night and we've got varying weather. And an important thing to remember through this is that the Division is set in wintertime in New York City. So wintertime in New York City, for those of you who've never been there or who might not know what part of the world New York City is in, it's insane and it's cold. And you will get you can get blizzard-like conditions in terms of high winds and cold temperatures with snow, and it's crazy. It's like it gets really insane, which is part of what is going to make the Division a lot of fun at times because this intense weather can be going on while you're trying to do a mission. While if you get into a firefight in a snowstorm, how does that affect your firefight, your ability to work as a unit, and your ability to perform as an agent? So first quote I want to lead off with is from senior game designer Frederick Thylander, which I'm sorry, Thylander, Frederick, if I'm saying your name wrong, sorry. And he says, when in a full storm, visibility is hindered for both NPCs and the agent. Our worst storm conditions that can hit will affect aim assist and detection ranges for both players and NPCs. So what he's saying there is that aim assist, which if anyone who's played modern shooters knows that aim assist is a very real thing, and it's something that we sort of have to deal with, or something that we have to accept, because I've tried playing Battlefield without it and it's crazy. Because if you don't have an aim assist in video games, it's literally pixel per pixel. Am I hitting the hitbox, and if I'm not, sucks. And that's where aim assist really makes the game feel a lot more natural. Where if you're aiming at the thing that you want to hit, you hit it the majority of the time, unless there's a problem with your aim. Which aim assist won't fix that, but it will help with the ultra minute adjustments. And it's really cool that the weather is going to affect that, because I can go to the shooting range at 11 o'clock in the morning on a sunny day with no wind and shoot really well. But then at the same time, I could go to that same range with the same gun, and if it's a 50-mile-an-hour crosswind and it's snowing, I am not going to perform on the same level, because that's insane. That's insane weather to be shooting in. And that's going to be part of the Division, is what they're showing us here. And so you've got that going on with aim assist, but then you also have the detection ranges. So knowing that there's probably a lot of people who are going to be playing the Division who haven't played games like Splinter Cell before, sometimes you have to be sneaky. And, detection ranges pretty much tell you that there's a range within which, the enemies are going to be able to hear you, a range within which they're going to be able to see you. And same thing, 50-mile-an-hour frozen, snowing crosswind, their visibility is greatly reduced, and their ability to hear you sneaking up on them is greatly reduced. So it's really cool that this is going to be part of the game, because it's going to have both positives and negatives for you during missions. Where if there's a place that if you have a mission to sneak into a place, and maybe you're not good at that, or you're not used to that, you don't want to do that right now, you go do side quests or go do whatever else until a blizzard rolls in, until it's crazy weather and it's like snowing, and then you can go and sneak in then under the cover of this storm. And it just gives another dimension to the way you can play the Division, the way you can experience the world of New York in the game. They make the point as well that civilians as well as wildlife will react to weather, sometimes avoiding it entirely. So yeah, they say you'll experience civilians and wildlife differently, and even in some cases not at all. That's right out of the article. So, again, if there's crazy weather, the animals aren't going to be out wandering the streets. They're going to go to wherever they call home and be there. So, which will give the city a really cool, like, empty feel, I'm assuming, of where it's not this living, breathing place anymore. It's sort of stagnant right now, sort of frozen, which will be really awesome, and it'll help the game a lot. The buildings are used to show off different parts of the city, which I guess doesn't play so much into weather, but it's just that idea of, when they say buildings, they mean like styles of buildings. So it's going to be obvious to you when you're in residential zones, and then when you go over to Times Square and there's advertisements everywhere and everything's all lit up and all that kind of stuff with their electronic signs and all that, versus a residential street. The weather does a lot for that as well, because if signs are frozen, or not signs are frozen over, but if there's like snow covering stuff, covering advertisements, then the Times Square might look a little different. And when you've got like bicycles up in front of someone's house, and all of a sudden it's frozen solid, there's icicles and all this kind of stuff. It's cool. It's gonna give the game a really cool feel. I've got one other quote I want to read here. This is from technical art director Sebastian Lindoff, and he says, "If there's one situation that really makes the player feel the change of time and weather, it's spending time indoors for a while and then stepping out to realize it might be night and it might be a snowy blizzard." So remember that the world that you play in the Division isn't just for you. It's the open world, and it's the persistent world. So if you go into a building, which, in case that hasn't been made clear to you guys, like inside outside is real time. That's not like, oh, you want to go into this building, here's a loading screen, blah, blah, blah. Like, you'll find buildings that are open and that you can explore, and you just walk on in. So if you're inside a building, if you're doing something in a skyscraper and you're up on the 50th floor, and then you spend a couple game days in there, all of a sudden you come out and you don't know what time it is, and you don't know what the weather's like because you've been indoors, you've been underground maybe even. It's really cool to remind you of the fact that you're part of a living, breathing world. And that's a point that I want to make before I end this video, just to remind you guys that New York, the city of New York, is just as much a character in this game as we are. Because while this game is about the people who are sort of in charge of bringing humanity back from the brink of annihilation because of this disease, because of this infectious outbreak, the city dies along with them, and it's not only our goal to save humanity, but to save this city as well, to bring the city back to being the amazing place that it is today. The New York that we all know in the real world, if that's gone, would you not fight to restore that, to restore this amazing place where people come together to get all kinds of great work done? So it's cool. It's cool. I think, I have complete confidence in their ability to really make to make the weather feel great. Like, I want to, like, I'm looking at videos of this, and it's like, I feel like I'm going to be sitting in my room playing this game, and I'm going to want to put on a jacket. Like, I'm going to feel cold because the snow looks so awesome. And yeah, that's really all I got to say on it for right now, because the article's not that long, but they just wanted to drop that little bit of info on us. So I'll keep this video from getting any longer and say thanks, guys, very much for hanging out. And this has been Asthmatic talking about day-night cycle and weather in Tom Clancy's The Division. Don't forget to sign up for the beta. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys.